morning, ladies as well as gentlemen. Papa Boris is back for some more Hearthstone Arena action. We are continuing a new chapter in my life where I post the videos no matter what, whether I do well or do badly, so you can always, again, confirm from the sneak preview at the end of the last video, and then my gold total to make sure that I am up and following the rules. Here the choice is pretty easy. I'm not a big fan of warriors, although I'll probably play one eventually. Just, so you guys can see how the warrior plays now, with Battle Rage being a terrible card. And I just played as Paladin, so let's go ahead and do Hunter. Have not yet put a Hunter video on this channel, so win or lose, this is going to be it. Here the pick is a pretty straightforward one. You got to grab the Sea Giant here. This thing is gigantic and quite affordable, so sometimes it will just win you the game. Now, Hunters, I just have a really tough time figuring out which of their cards are good and which cards are not. Freezing Trap is a card I've been blown out by. I mean, it's basically like a 2-mana temporary assassinate. One thing I like about this trap a lot is that it activates whether the minion attacks you or one of your minions. Some of the other Hunter traps, Explosive Trap, they have to attack you. Snake Trap, they have to attack a minion, and it always seems to be like the opposite of what you'd want it to be, so it's very tricky, but Freezing Trap just works. Fen Creeper's a nice big taunter, but we'll go ahead and grab the Freezing Trap there just to make sure we have one of those, because sometimes it is a very important card to have. Okay, well, here we have some interesting options. I think the Gadsden Auctioneer or the Savannah Highmane have to do it, and we'll take the Savannah Highmane just because it's a beast, and a lot of Hunter cards care about beasts. You don't really want to take bad beasts just so that they work with the Hunter cards, like Buzzard and Hyena. I've beaten many a Hunter who was playing like River Crocolisks and Razorfin Raptors, and just having a really, really awful deck to make the synergies work. So having an actual nice, like, sort of late-game card that is also a beast is really great. Alright, well, see, Scavenging Hyena, here's the thing. This card has a potential to get out of control, but it's actually quite difficult to get this stupid thing to work. So, first you have to have a beast on the board, then you have to play the Hyena, then you have to have the beast die in some way that's profitable, then the opponent has to not have removal for the Hyena. All in all, it really makes me wonder if this is even worth it. I guess early in the draft I should take it in case I find buzzards and stuff to go with it, but that's one of the problems I have with Hunter is this beast nonsense. You end up passing over quality cards to take what is, at first, a mediocre 2-drop. This is a 2/2 for 2, that is below average for a 2-mana creature. And, if you don't get the synergy to work, then it just sucks, and you wish you had this quality creature instead. Alright, well, we're getting a legendary. Wow. Quite the choice. These are all great legendaries. I'm going to take King Crush for a couple of reasons. Number one, he's the Hunter legendary, so let's be thematic. And number two, I've never played with him before, so it'd be fun to play with him. Leroy Jenkins is nifty, but the 2/1/1 whelps that it spawns will just kill him on the following turn, so he's basically like a fireball with a downside. You can obviously control for this, by having explosive traps, or like, if you're a mage, you can like Arcane Explosion, or if you're a rogue, if you can Fan of Knives, but Hunter's not super great at dealing with those 1/1s, so I'm going to take the more expensive guy, but who is just absolutely ridiculous. And this also gives you an extra out in the game. If your opponent's at 8 health or lower, obviously, and it's the end game and you're in top deck mode, this can just end the game right on the spot. So we're going to go ahead and grab that guy. Okay, well, we have some pretty good late game. We got the Highmane, the Crush, and the Sea Giant. So that's 3 cards already. I don't want to go crazy grabbing this many expensive cards early in the draft, just in case we end up needing to, like, being forced to pick late game cards later on. So since I'm a Hunter and I'm aggressive, and I'll grab the Worgen Infiltrator. He survives against mages and druids and rogues because of stealth, and he can attack when you need him to. Alright, Houndmaster is a very important card for Hunters. I feel like it's difficult to win or do well without it. This is like a Dark Iron Dwarf with 1 less health, but a way better buff. I mean, it's on beasts only, of course, and I've seen these be wasted before, but it's just such a ridiculously strong buff. I feel like you have to go for it. Alright, so here we can take a second Freezing Trap or a Dragonling mechanic. I'm actually not that big a fan of these mechanics, to be totally honest with you, so we'll take another Freezing Trap. Okay, well, I think Stormwind Champion is a card that's worth picking over these sort of, this is a card drawer and this is spell damage, but let's grab the Stormwind Champion. I just like him so much. Alright, well, actually, this is really interesting. So in my last Hunter game, I had this pick twice, actually, Longbow versus Bestial Wrath. I picked the Longbow the first time, and then I picked Bestial Wrath the second time, and I hated it. This Bestial Wrath just blows. I mean, I couldn't use it a single time in any of the 9 games. for my 6-win arena with Hunter. Now, Sea Giant also deserves some consideration because that's just another huge duder face that you could put down. But yeah, this is very, very quality removal. It can also finish off your opponent, so we're going to go ahead and grab it there. Alright, well here's a very easy pick. The Chillwind Yeti is a premier 4-drop, so we'll grab it there. Unleash the Hounds is a card I've had 0 luck with, so I'm not even going to bother. I have way too much expensive stuff here, though. Well, not way too much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards at 6 mana or more. Kind of hesitant about taking this Frost Elemental. Alright, we'll take one more. This thing's really good. We'll take one more, but then we're cutting where we're saying no more of expensive cards. Okay. Here, I'm not going to take this just because it's a beast. We'll take the Silvermoon Guardian because he's actually a good creature. The Tundra Rhino is really, really good. Like, letting your Savannah Highmane come in charging is kind of spectacular. This guy could actually be good if I combo with the Longbow, but that's very, very late game here. 7 mana is a lot. And Hunter's Mark is removal of a sort, but let's grab the Rhino here because charging is good. Alright, well, here we have a very tough choice between the Starving Buzzard and the Animal Companion. Starving Buzzard is card draw, but I'm going to grab the Animal Companion simply because the Starving Buzzard sucks on its own, whereas the Animal Companion, you're always happy to see it. Basically, all 3 of the Animal Companions you could get with this spell are 4 mana creatures. They're like a creature that should cost 4 mana, but you're only paying 3. So that's kind of like the counterbalance is that it's random. You don't know which one you're going to get, but they're all good. So I'm pretty much always going to take Animal Companion, barring exceptional circumstances. Okay, so we can take Giantoid here, or we can take the Healer. I've got a lot of big stuff here. I'm not that worried about it already, to be honest. I'm just going to take Healing, because sometimes that can be a really nice thing to have. Alright, I hate passing on Sen'jin Shieldmaster, but the Kill Command is just extremely good removal. It's like a Lava Burst with no overload as long as you have a beast on the board. And even if you don't have a beast on the board, hey, it's, you know, still 3 damage for 3 mana is alright. Well, normally I think I would take the Imani Berserker. As I've said before, it's the best 2-drop in the game, but it is nice to have another beast here, so we'll grab the Direwolf. Deadly Shot is important to have. Boulder Fist Ogre I'm tempted by, but I have a lot of expensive cards, so we're going to grab this removal. The Imp Master actually is great with Stormwind Champion, and if I pick up a Hunter's Mark later, which is the 0 mana spell that turns a creature's health to 1, it's really nice to have these 1/1 imps that I can throw into the creature afterwards. Alright, Kill Command is really great. We'll take it. It's also a nice finisher sometimes. I've expounded before on my love for the Frostwolf Grunt. I feel like this 2/2 taunt is just super solid and better than people give it credit for, so we'll grab it here. Here I'm going to take the cheapest card there because I don't want my curve to get out of control, so we'll grab the Gnomish Inventor. And although I do like to have some health restoration, I want to make sure we have a silence. The Ironbeak Owl is not my favorite silence, but it is a silence. So I want to make sure I have one. Well, here are the calls between the Frostwolf Warlord, a Giant, or the Starving Buzzard. So let's go ahead and take a look. How many beasts do I have? 1, 2, the Ironbeak Owl is a beast. 3, 4, 5, 6, and then King Crush is kind of 7, but realistically 6. So I've got 6 beasts to draw cards with off this Buzzard. This guy is a great combo with the Imp Master, and most of my stuff is, you know, below 5 mana. I have like a bit of a high curve here, but a lot of the concentration is 2, 3, 4. Oh man. You know what? I'd rather have a card that's just huge and awesome than a card that draws me other cards. So I'm going to grab the Frostwolf Warlord here. Let's not go crazy with those Buzzards. Now, I could take another Silence, making it kind of better in this deck than usual because it's a beast. Yeah, we'll take another Silence over this card draw. That's fine. Uh-oh, I don't want to take more expensive stuff, so we're taking another Worgen Infiltrator. Alright, we'll take this. Hunters do want to kind of race, so having something that hits really hard but has sucky stats is a little bit more acceptable for Hunters. I don't have any buffs, though. I don't have any Dark Iron Dwarves. Yeah, this is really just hitting for 4 damage, but otherwise it's quite mediocre. This guy is Giant. How much do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 or more. Plus another 3 that are 5 or more, so that's 9. I don't want a third of my deck to be 5 or more. That seems bad. We'll take the Mad Bomber. It's cheap and sometimes effective. Animal Companion. Always happy to grab that. And we're ending with a rare. Now, Misdirection is one of those freaking annoying spells. I have lost to this card before, but whenever I play it, it's just dumb. It's just like, saves me a couple of life, and then the creature attacks my opponent instead. It's like, whatever. It's just a damage-dealing spell. Like, it's really so random that I can't counter it. But this is terrible. And then Flare, I mean, it's first of all a non-bow with my own Worgen Infiltrators, and the odds that this will be relevant are pretty low. But you know what? I'm going to take it because I honestly just really hate Misdirection. I hate it when it's played against me, and I hate it when I play it myself. I just hate that card. So, yeah, this deck is a bit expensive, so we're definitely not playing the expensive variety of Hunter. It's more like just, you know, your usual mid-game, late-game deck, beat them down with big creatures sort of affair with a little bit of beast synergy thrown in. So hopefully we draw our beasts when we need them, and that'll be that. We'll see if I regret taking that Frostwolf Warlord over the Buzzard. That might have been the most contentious pick of the draft. We're up against Knots, the Priest. Oh, shit. Well, this is definitely what we call a non-bow. I don't want to play Mad Bomber after putting a Worgen on the field. So we're going to actually have to choose between our 2-drop and our 1-drop. Let's go ahead and keep our 1-drop. But let's send back all of our others. Let's see what else we can get here. Okay, well this is actually great. So I can play the Worgen on turn 1, Wolf on turn 2. We got Silence and Removal. That's fine starting hand. I'll need to draw some more stuff here. But since I do have a lot of expensive stuff in my deck like this, I'm not that concerned about starting with a handful of cheap cards. It's when you're playing a really aggressive deck with a very slight to non-existent late game that you worry about drawing a handful of cheap stuff like this, because then you're like, well, I might never actually, you know, ever get what I need. Right, so we got off to a very aggressive start. We're going to be packing up 5 damage here. Priest, realistically, actually could kill both of these. If he has Shadow Word, Pain, and Holy Smite, both of these would die. Looks like he doesn't have that. Got the Leper Gnome instead, and he's going to heal on up. Okay. Well, I think I could play the Owl, silence this to prevent 2 damage. That seems awfully silly, but maybe I could just play this as a kind of aggro thing, where I start pounding down with the Owl. I mean, what's my alternative? I could kill command? That seems way overkill. Yeah, we're actually going to play this out. I mean, this might seem a little bit loose, but I'm just trying to be super aggressive here. So we're going to swing low, Sweet Chariot. This guy can kill my wolf if he wants. That's fine. I've still got 4 damage on the board, and we're just, you know, we're just trying to be aggressive. That's all we're trying to do. Alright, he makes the trade. That's fine. I've got this beast, which makes kill command really good, so if he does play like a light spawn, I can just straight up chomp it. I can actually chomp a Senjin or a Chillwind Yeti as well. That's great. So basically any premier 4-drop creature I can chomp. What I'd really hate to see here is something like a Dragonling Mechanic, actually, because that would just absolutely dominate my board all by itself and I couldn't kill it. There we go. That's perfect. Yes. All right. Let's go ahead. Oh, geez. Houndmaster's tempting. But no, we're going to kill this light spawn before anything wacky happens. And we're going to swing, swing, swing. So, yeah, man, I have to say this beast thing is kind of important, because next turn, if this is still around, I will actually play the Houndmaster and turn this into a 4-3 Ass Pounder, which will be nice. Alright, my opponent's going to draw a card. That's fine by me, because it's this whole turn, and I can actually get rid of this pretty easily. Oh, I could almost play a Sea Giant. I'm 1 mana short of being able to play Sea Giant. Ah, that's frustrating. I could also coin out the Savannah. But no, we're just going to go with the flow here. We're going to do this. And think. My opponent's going to have to run into this, because this is a 4-power creature. Now, if he has Holy Nova... if he has Holy Nova, then everything dies. Okay, we're going to respect Holy Nova here. We're going to trade that, sad as that is, and we're going to pass the turn. So now Holy Nova is not as good, because it only kills 1 creature, and it's my 1-drop, so that would obviously be silly. Alright, next turn I have a couple of options. I might not even play the Savannah, actually. I might just coin out one of my 7-drops. Mountain Giant. Touché, sir, touché. Okay. So this would have been good to have on the field already, because then I could play the Savannah after it and charge into that, maybe. But instead what I think I'm going to do... geez, I could play my own Giant and just ignore his Giant. That actually seems good. Let me think. I could coin something out. I could coin out the Stormwind Champion. Make this 5 and 3. I could actually trade them both in, but why do that? I could just swing by. For 8 damage, take him down to 10 health. 10 health is actually a pretty important amount of health, because then, assuming he plays the Mountain Giant into my Stormwind Champion, these guys keep on swinging. He might have a Shadow Word Death to kill the Stormwind Champion, then he'll kill the Houndmaster, but I still get to swing for 2... Plus I can play this and this. Yeah, we're gonna go for the kill here. I mean, could I maybe play the Gladiator's Longbow instead? Let's see, I could then swing for 6. Plus 5 is 11. He's down to He's down to 7 health then. He could heal up to 9. But then he kills my creature. I swing for 7. 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, I think actually maybe that is it. I'm going to go for the throat right here. We're basically using this as an overcosted Arcanite Reaper. But my opponent is in a bit of trouble because I'm at full health, so he can't race me down. He has to use his guy to kill my stuff, kind of one at a time. So let's say he kills my Houndmaster, because priests realistically can't deal with this creature very easily. He kills my Houndmaster and heals up to 9 health. I've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage waiting in the wings. So my opponent has to also play a taunt in addition to healing himself. So the question is, does he have a taunter for my weapon? Yeah, he has to have a taunt, because all my damage, this weapon, Steady Shot, and the Beast, it's all going through if he doesn't have a taunt. So he either needs healing or taunting. There's no other way around it. When you're trying to kill someone with a weapon, it's important to get the weapon out early, because you can just lose if you wait too long to place it out. I've lost games before where I had enough damage in the weapon to kill my opponent, but the extra turn that I needed to attack with it cost me the game. So you want to get it out early if you can. Ah, my opponent's shutting off his healing abilities, and he's going to Wrath the board. That's quite clever, but it doesn't actually save him, unfortunately. So I've got the kill in hand. Little did he know. 5, 7, 9. Yep. Alright, so I'm actually kind of in trouble here. I mean, he's swinging at me for like 11 damage a turn. Luckily, I just win. Alright, even with like a controlling late game Hunter deck, I still end up winning on the brink of losing. That's just how Hunters play. Alright. That was a good game against Knots the Priest. I think he had a pretty good deck. He seems not to have drawn any of his removal. We didn't see any Shadow Word Pains there. That would have really saved him a lot of damage. But he did have some freaking awesome cards. The Akanai Soul Priest, I think that's a rare, and the Giant is an epic. So yeah, it's a good thing we won when we did. Alright, we're up against Temsu, the rogue. Like I mentioned before, usually if you see a rogue, you have to kind of respect that the person probably knows what they're doing. I am going to keep this owl and see if there's something early on I can play in silence. Like, we're not going for blowout silences in this deck since I have another owl in here. I'll use it kind of frivolously if I need to. And then play Animal Companion and, you know, hopefully have an aggressive start. I have the curve here, it's just I can't play this in turn 2, is the problem. Ah, it's the same map. I always get this, it's like the same, the first 2 games are always like the same map. I wonder if that's a thing. Alright, he's got coin something or other. Knife Juggler. Ah, well that's actually really perfect. Well, is it perfect? Ah, fuck, hang on. So if I play the owl to silence the Knife Juggler, my opponent can just whip out a dagger, kill the owl. Yeah, maybe I'll just play the Worgen and then just try to trade. But actually, the Knife Juggler could fling a thing at the Worgen. Oh, fuck. Well, we're gonna play this. You know what? I should have thought about that. I am up against a rogue. Maybe I should have mulliganed this just because it's gonna die to the dagger. But then again, if she's daggering up, she's not doing something else, so I'm kind of buying time and dealing a little bit of damage. It was like a steady shot that cost me a card. Alright, now, pretty much any animal companion... Well, hang on, that's not quite true. 2 of the animal companions really own this guy, but the third one, the Charging Pig, that one kind of sucks against Knife Juggler. But, yeah, we'll go... Well, we can actually, like, play Worgen and Steady Shot. But no, we'll just play it here. Alright, that is totally fine. So the Knife Juggler can trade into this, and then my opponent can dagger into it, but then he's down to 24 health, and as a rogue, smashing into things when you're up against a hunter, you have to be a little bit careful. This is a very good follow-up. Rogues are not a big fan of this card. I mean, Assassinate will kill it, but that's 5 mana for a removal spell, so I'm pretty happy to play this down. The real issue is having things to do on turn 5 and turn 6. Right now, it's just this and Steady Shots. Hopefully we'll get something good. Ah, Raging Worgen. Okay. Well, I've got a pretty good answer to that. The Silver Moon Guardian holds up quite nicely against Raging Worgen. Ah, good. We have a Charger, which is nice. This is... There's a neutral card. I forget what he's called. He's 4 mana and has the same stats as this Rhino. It's a 2/5 with charge. So the Rhino is good because it can give your other beasts charge. Oh, fuck. He actually hit the Worgen. At least he didn't hit my Divine Shield, though. That would have sucked. That would have sucked donkey balls. Alright, my opponent looks to be in an aggressive mood with those daggers. She's going to pop the Divine Shield herself. And then I imagine hit me for 4 and then trade. Yep. Alright, good man, good play. Alright, well, this is actually a really nice situation. I'm going to hold off on this Worgen. We'll play the Rhino. So, my opponent actually, it's a little bit tricky to kill this thing because Backstab won't deal damage to damaged creatures. So the dagger can no longer be buffed because it was been nerfed long ago. So my opponent would need a Fan of Knives or a Shiv in order to finish this thing off. And if this thing doesn't get finished off, Houndmaster next turn plus Steady Shot's going to be a really good play. So let's see, does my opponent have the Shiv or the Fan of Knives? Eviscerate would do it as well. Well, we're keeping things pretty clear on the board here. There's not much on the board happening here. But this is a really critical turn, because if this guy survives and I can play a 4-3 and give this +2/+2 and taunt, that's a huge difference compared to if this dies. Let's say my top deck is bad, I can just play a 4-3 for 4 mana. That sucks. So, yeah, we'll see if my opponent's got the kill. Looks like, nope. Nope, there's no kill for that. Fan-fiddly-tastic. Kill command is cute, but we're going to Houndmaster it up. Now my opponent, I mean, these two things will trade into it. I'm actually going to deal the damage here. The risk is that my opponent will have a combo Eviscerate. Let's say, here's like my opponent could just wreck me right here. Backstab the Houndmaster, Eviscerate, kill this, and then finish the Houndmaster off. Still has a 2/4 on the board and 4 mana to play with. So that would really suck some serious donkey balls. A less terrible turn of events would just be if you traded these two little creatures in for my Tundra Rhino. This is altogether one 4-mana card, so trading it in for a 5-mana card plus a buff is actually fine. It doesn't feel great, but it is totally okay. Now what my opponent has to worry about is that she's at 14 health because she smacked into quite a few creatures. And I've got just, I mean, Steady Shot, Kill Command, and King Crush will pretty much kill my opponent here. This is 2 damage, let's say 3 damage, it's 5, 5 plus 8 is 13. I just need to throw in 1 more Steady Shot and my opponent's dead. And that's best case scenario for my opponent. That's if both of these creatures can be dealt with. I'm doing a pretty good job brushing her down. Now I am at 22 health myself, which is not to be scoffed at, but it's a bit of a tricky situation. Alright, Perdition's Blade without a combo on that. Interesting choice. This will allow my opponent to kill everything off, but then she's getting smashed pretty hard. That would be a very risky move for my opponent to undertake. Just gonna hit that. It doesn't really matter. They're both deal 4 damage. Alright, my opponent trades everything off and plays a Molten Giant. Wow! That is a pretty good play, and Freezing Trap is a pretty freaking good answer. Holy crap. Alright, we're gonna do this. And we're gonna do this. Okay, well, it's a good thing I drafted 2 of these Freezing Traps. This might have been some other card. Because Freezing Trap cannot be triggered by the hero attacking, and this thing is going to get popped back into the hand, which of course it can be replayed for free because my opponent's so low on life, but the real issue is that it's saving me 8 damage, which is kind of important at this point. Now, if my opponent has any charge creatures, that would be the perfect answer, because she can drop down the charge in, trigger the Freezing Trap. No! She actually has it! Shit! Oh, fuck, I'm screwed. So that's going to get frozen back up. Then the Molten Giant smashes me for 8. I'm 1 turn away from this. I might actually lose before I have a chance to win. We'll see how it goes. I can deal 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm 1 damage short of killing my opponent. This is also 1 damage short of killing my opponent. This is 5, 7. I'm 1 mana short of being able to do this. Uh-oh. Well, let's think. 8 plus 1 is 9. I'm going down to 3 health. I would like to deal with this if I can. But I don't have any beast. I'm 1 mana short. Oh, shit. If I play this... Nope. I don't think there's any way for me to kill this thing. Crap. Because this is only dealing 3 damage. Leaving it at 5 health. But then I can't play the Gladiator Longbow. Well, I think it's actually just all the same here. There's nothing I can do to, like, stop this. So basically, if my opponent can deal any 3 damage in any way... Well, actually, shit. He's got this frozen trapped charger, so I know he can deal at least 2 damage. So yeah, this guy costs 6 of my opponent's 8 mana. So at the very least, she has 2 damage. God damn it, am I really 1 mana short? 2, 3 is 5, plus 4, 2 is 7. And then I don't have enough mana to do anything else. Oh my god. That is le sad. Alright, well, I don't think it actually matters what I do. So we'll actually put a creature on the board to kind of, you know, make it look as scary as possible for my opponent. But all she needs is 1 point of damage. Sinister Strike, Eviscerate, really anything. Shattered Sun Cleric. Actually, she couldn't play the Charger and the Shattered Sun Cleric because the Charger costs 6 mana after being frozen. Oh my god, that Charger won her the game because it let her deal 8 extra damage, and it gets reused. Alright, well, Backstab could just be a precursor to an Eviscerate. Kidnapper, not bothered by. Oh my god, do I get to live? I think I get to live. Yep, I get to live. Whew. Oh man. You know, if the Rogue Dagger hadn't been nerfed, my opponent would have won here. I think the best way to win here is by using our Legendary. And well played. Temsu. Whew, that was a bit of a tense game, but managed to pull it out. You know, these expensive cards are a bit of a problem. I guess actually the Stormwind Champion, I got to play him. He just got kidnapped. So I got to play 2 of my 3 expensive cards that I drew there. That seems fine. Alright, well that's 2 wins. So as always, I'll play just the first couple of games after the draft in this first video if you are short on time for viewing. But if you enjoy how the arena is going, then by all means, stay tuned, because the rest of the games are going to be coming shortly. If you enjoyed the video, please like and or subscribe, and we'll see you with the rest of the games soon. Till then.